good. We are having it good, not just in Nigeria, but to the world. But we need to move on. Education in Akwa Ibom State is getting a fresh breath of air under Governor Umar Eno. The administration has almost completed the construction of the pilot model school at Christ the King Primary School, Wellington, Basiwe in Uyo, the state capital. So the state government has finalized arrangements to replicate the model primary school, equipped with state-of-the-art facilities and personnel across the senatorial zones and federal constituencies of the state. Babajide Kolado Tutuju visited the pilot school to assess the facilities. Let's share the story with you.
One of the abiding passions of Governor Umar of Akwa Ibom State is the remodeling and upgrade of education infrastructure. To the governor, by paying attention to primary education, the willingness and passion of children for education will undoubtedly be triggered. The administration plans to build model primary schools in senatorial zones as well as federal constituencies in the state. This is Christ the King's Primary School, Wellington Basiwe. The crèche of Christ the King Model Primary School, and everything that the children need to make learning comfortable for them has been provided. Of course, the governor believes that creating a comfortable environment for learning is one way to encourage and make learning such a pleasant experience for our Ibom pupils and students. So you can see the illustration of the work. Each child in this crèche will have a tablet that he or she would use. Of course, there is an LCD on the wall for the teacher to project what he plans to impact on the children. You could be misled to think that it's actually a private primary school, but this is a public primary school. This is the way Governor Umar wants public primary schools in Akwa Ibom to look like. There is also a sick bay where ill pupils can be attended to. These are the exercise books for the pupils. And the government is preparing hard for the resumption of classes. As far as Governor Eno is concerned, education curriculum has to be aligned with the realities of information technology, ICT, sciences, mathematics, to produce the best. Behind me is the admin block of Christ the King Model Primary School, Wellington Road, Uyo, capital of Akwa Ibom State. This is Governor Umar Eno's idea of what a public primary school should look like. And the governor has done his best to make this primary school really special for the pupils that will be admitted to this school. To my right, you have the residential quarters for teachers. The head teacher and other teachers will be accommodated here. It is unusual for a primary school to actually have residential quarters for the staff, but that is what we have here, and that is why this model primary school is really special. The governor plans to build model primary schools in all the federal constituencies of the state, and if possible, extend them beyond the federal constituencies. During a recent visit to Akwa Ibom State, the Minister of Education was full of praise for the Akwa Ibom State Governor for the quality infrastructure at the Christ the King Primary School. Akwa Ibom State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Comrade Ine Ememobong, throws more light on why Governor Eno has elected to prioritize education.
The RISE agenda of the current administration in Akwa Ibom, first was the governor's personal idea as aspirants became the party's manifesto and now has been processed through a democratic process where the people, through the various segments and stakeholders, have had an input, and it has now become the economic philosophy, the economic policy, the driving force behind government business. And particularly has to do with education. It's a place, it's a sector that His Excellency the Governor, Pastor Mobaseno, has indicated that his heart is there. And he talks about ruralization. So he talks about rural schools. He talks about even the exchange program that is to happen between Southwark Borough and Akwa Ibom State with a lot of passion. He wants rural children and general education to have a facelift. The expenditure on education is what he has as a soft spot, and he wants children to rise through the ladder of education. He sees education as a vehicle that can transport a society through its people from where they are to where they hope to be. And that is his clear focus, which is why he sees education not as an expense, but as public good. He doesn't see it as an expenditure. He sees it rather as an investment where people and a community can be transported to a future, a glorious future, even from a gloomy past. You look at what he's doing with printing of exercise books, with uniforms, with school bags. He's even talking about internet facilities in those schools. And he wants the teachers to be residents in those schools so that the children can have benefit of having their teachers, all round. That's the kind of education he envisages.
Education at both primary and secondary levels remains free in Akwa Ibom State. Quality infrastructure and a conducive environment for learning will undoubtedly ensure overall education access. Babajide Kolade Otitojo, TVC News, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State.
Well, amazing infrastructure. It reminds me of, seeing some of those beautiful structures, back in the day. And then what you're now seeing now, having these on Nigerian soil is an amazing feat. BK, talk to us about, this is Arise Agenda.
School.
Yeah.
Especially for a public school, a public primary school. You don't get to see such infrastructure, such equipment anywhere. It's a public school. Public primary school with a crèche component. Look at the way they played with colors in that crèche. There's no child that you take to school who would not want to go to school the next day.
It looks amazing.
We have a situation in which children sit on the bare floor. There are no louvers. They have no roof over their heads. They contend with the vagaries of the weather and all that. But the governor has taken it upon himself to build a model school, build model schools in the senatorial zones, in the federal constituencies. So this is the first. It is this prototype that will be replicated in other places.
Small local government areas in
yes.
the state.
So this is what intends. So what you see here, look at that building. That building you are seeing is the residential quarters of the head teacher. And there are other, this is the main building, and there are other buildings for, and these are the classrooms. There are other buildings for other teachers. They want teachers to reside within the premises of the primary school. I don't know anywhere where that is done. And I believe that if they can do this, using an investment in education is not something that you say that you have not reaped benefits from. Many years down the line, the benefits, you keep reaping the benefits.
That's right.
We must invest in education. And they still have education in that state at secondary and primary level remains free. So what is left is now to complement that free education with the right infrastructure and to provide training, quality training for the teachers. Quality training for teachers will translate to qualitative instruction qualitative level of instruction for the pupils. I saw even the toilets, if you see the toilets, honestly, you'll be wondering, what's going on? It's a thing of everywhere I go to and I see a thing like this, it makes me happy. I feel encouraged. You know, look at each pupil with his own tablet.
Yeah, Adekunle, this is quite interesting. You know, the governor actually said that he's determined to curb issue of out-of-school children. You know, we have so many out-of-school children in the north, but then I'm not sure we have as much as that in there in the state. But then he's saying that there are still some people who are out of school, so he needs to ensure that the infrastructure is, you know, conducive enough for the students to be able to learn. This is amazing feat, do you think?
It is, and talking about out-of-school children is still an issue in some parts of the South, especially South. But what I'm saying here, if you're able to do this across the state, and you match it with the right personnel, I'm talking about teachers, not just, you know, the ones you recruit through political
because that's another thing.
That's what is done in Nigeria. Every appointment is always politicized. But you just merit, because at a point, I believe maybe somebody will be one of our leaders and do the right thing. We always get the worst among us to become teachers. And in other climes, the very best in the class, the top first, are the people they recruit into teaching. In some places in the US, you won't believe it that you see primary school teachers, secondary school teachers, and more than even the university professors. It is quite almost extremely difficult to even enter into the teaching category at that level than to become a teacher at the university. All you need to have a PhD. Right there, you don't need a PhD. With just your first degree and other, you know, professional qualifications, it's extremely difficult, and they are well taken care of. In Nigeria, even when you look at it from our admissions, those who didn't do well in JAM, they rush them into education faculty. So we need to have that. So you can't build this world-class facility and think, I still think like the Nigerian way, when you want our party, our leaders, political, no. You have to make it merit, because it benefits everybody, whether you are a party person or you are not a party person. So for the future of that state, and not just kind of the average teacher will be able to handle this. They have to be well-trained, sound teachers. You know, top private schools, they don't just take any kind of, you know, person. I'm not talking under the roof the private teacher. I'm talking about solid private schools. So those are that's the kind of people that can work here with what I'm saying. Yeah. How many of who can use blades? You know, the kind of. So if you are able to do this, you will bring up a brand new generation of, you know, young, you know, people. Yeah. And don't stop at the primary school, because when they finish from there and go to any house secondary school, the investment will be lost.
That's right.
So you need to bring it up to the secondary school level too.
Right.
And so when you want to go to the university, they're already well prepared for life.
Right. BK, Governor Umoh is also saying that there's build hospital, market, and infrastructure. Because this one we are looking at looks more like an estate. It's only in, you know, beautiful estates, like, okay, these are new estates, and then people start going there. This is a school. So, but he signed a budget of 849.97 billion naira, and he said this infrastructure we're looking at will be replicated in 31 states, 31 local government areas. But I'm not sure how much of internally generated revenue they have in Akwa Ibom State. That's one, and how it will be able to, you know, replicate this magnificent feat across the local governments. Well,
the truth is, Akwa Ibom is one of the 3 richest states in our country in terms of revenue from the Federation. So, from that distributable revenue from the center alone, there's a lot that can be done if they are focused. I mean, this is a state that built a worship center to the tune of 32.8 billion.
worship center.
Yes, just a worship center. And the governor at the time said, well, no amount is too much to spend in a state named after God. So I believe that there is enough resources to replicate this across the state. I mean, the governor already knew what he was doing when he said he would replicate across the state. So we need to encourage them to do this across the state, honor his word to do it across the state, and it is possible. When you the IGR is just a bonus. These days, if you know, some states are collecting 3 times what they used to collect. If they are sharing 1.2 trillion amongst themselves, remember there were times when they shared as low as 350 billion. But today, more money is coming to these governors. So governors who are focused, governors who are quick thinking, who are inventive, will be able to think of solid projects that have direct bearing on people. No doubt about it. I know that they will find the money.
And if any state government, newly elected, within this short time can, put this through, we have to give kudos to that kind of administration. It must be out of serious thinking, and this massive. When many of the governors are even yet to settle down, they are waiting for Supreme Court. Hey, maybe they will go, maybe they are not going.
The thing is focus. When you know what you want to do before you got the position, get to the position.
This is massive.
You definitely be able to pull things down. But we need to carry on, guys.